Well, we've got a lovely start to the morning at the very least. Things shaping up to be just a little cloudier than we were seeing over the weekend. Welcome in, Western Slope. I'm Dalen Brazelton. Let's talk about your weather. Hope everyone had a great weekend out there in Western Colorado. Some lovely temperatures, and we're going to see that trend continue as well. Taking a look behind me on America's Mattress Live Tower Cam, still waiting on that sun to rise. Saw a little bit of a meteor shower over the weekend. Our meteorologist Ian Kowalski has more on that online as well. You should check it out. We got another dry week ahead expected. No real precipitation, although some good news for those higher elevations. It seems like we might be seeing just a tad bit more snow up on the mountains, but the valley still staying nice and dry. Cloud coverage increasing for today. That's expected to be a little bit more over the week comparative to last week, but still, that's pretty much all we're expecting here for the Western Slope, except for some, of course, unseasonably warm temperatures. We're waking up right now to 30 degrees in Grand Junction, low 20s for Delta, mid 20s for Montrose. Then you got Paonia, Nucla, and Glade Park all in those low 30s, slightly above freezing, kind of all over the place to kick off this morning. But hey, what do you expect for a little bit of winter weather? Humidity wise, if you head a little bit further east to the Glenwood Springs, the Aspens, you got some higher humidities. Gunnison seeing 86%, very similar to Delta right now. A little bit more humid start to the day for some areas, even though it's nice and dry. That classroom forecast seeing that first bell ring to 30 degrees and some cloudy conditions as well. As we head into the afternoon, though, we're going to start to see that cloud coverage dissipate a little bit. Even though we're starting a lot cloudier in the mornings this week, we're still expected to see that clear up, very similar to last week. 53 degrees expected for those after school activities, and we'll be hanging out in those 50s pretty consistently this week. Expected to see those 50s kick off around 1 p.m. and then push into those low 50s for the rest of the afternoon. Meanwhile, the morning hours, well, we've heard this story once, you've heard it 1,000 times, folks. Upper 20s heading into the 30s, getting out of that freezing range around 8 to 9 o'clock, and then we're off to the races from there. That cloud coverage fully expected to dissipate as well by around 2 p.m., so nothing too terrible to look at for your morning. Now, if we look at our satellite and radar all across the state of Colorado, we're seeing that cloud coverage start to push in from the southwest, slowly but surely in those overnight hours. No moisture in the region, even the Front Range seeing some dry conditions. If we zoom into the Western Slope, areas like Battle Mesa maybe seeing a little dusting of snow, but the big story is just going to be that cloud coverage slowly pushing in through the morning hours, and really that's all we're expecting weather-wise here. Maybe some potential for rain and snow developing over the weekend, but even that doesn't seem to be too incredibly likely, as conditions around the region shaping up to be nice and dry, to be sure, for the foreseeable future. Now, it's not for lack of trying here, folks. It's not like our polar jet stream is too far to the north or anything like that. In fact, we've got a pretty strong atmospheric one pushing directly through the Front Range, but it's mainly concentrated to the other side of those Rockies. Even though it's starting on this side, we're slowly starting to see it work over, and that's what's maybe bringing this light dusting to the elk heads, maybe the flat top seeing something, but a lot of it's just too far north to be seen. Then you head into Wednesday. That midweek seems to be the best chance for some of those northern central mountains to be seeing some snowfall yet again. What I'm predicting that we're going to see over here is maybe just a slight uptick in wind instead, because it's starting to push into that Salt Lake area and then maybe work its way into the Western Slope. Then you got areas like Yellowstone up there and in Wyoming that's seeing just an insane amount. That Cozy Cat forecast, folks, tis the season here. This is spotty and baby. I want you to figure out which one's which, right? Partly cloudy skies expected for the morning, and then we slowly start to increase in temperature from there. Going to be a great one, to be sure. As we take a look ahead to that Discovery Auto Group 7-day forecast, well, we're seeing those lower 50s of today turn into the mid-50s in the midweek, and then, like I mentioned, folks, ending the week at 60 degrees. Ooh, going to be a scorcher for December. Montrose, slightly cooler, lower 50s expected, but pretty similar temperatures for today. The difference is going to be in that midweek, where we see 50 degrees one day and then nearly 60 the next. It's going to be an interesting one, to be sure.